We'll come back to this here later. So let's work on user administration.
Sean,
Yeah, you're welcome.
there's a question. Linux 8 is already in the market now, and we are working on the 6 and 7. Do you know by chance what different is the 8 and what should I be? Should we download and start practicing or something?
I would say don't worry about 8 because 8 won't be used for another 3-4 years. Because a lot of
Okay.
corporations, they just moved from 6 to 7 in last 18 months. They're still moving to 7. Yeah, because,
Jazakallah khair.
yeah, I mean, 8 is only 6 months, maybe it's about a year old, I think. Maybe less than that. Yeah, it's going to be 1 year in May. Well, then you could definitely install and then, use same thing and see if it's going to give you any other problem. Usually there is a little bit changes in the kernel. I don't expect too many things here. To be honest with you, we are not even thinking about 8 at work. Nobody talks about 8. Usually that happens when 7 point, let's check here. So Red Hat 7. Let's see. See, what is happening is Red Hat 7, they started 7.9, 7.6. Usually it goes up to 7.9, and then after that it will flip to 8. So I don't know why it started at 7.6 and then it flipped to 8. And look at this. This is not that old. October. It's only 18 months old. So people who are already on 7, they are now just going on to 6 now. And then they're going to sit there for 2 years before they do anything else. So
So then we shouldn't be worried about the 8 at this time. We should be focusing on the 6 and 7.
yeah, on the
Thank
rest
you.
your 6 and 7 goes, and most of the 6 and 7 is pretty much same except the command system CTL. Service command also works. Service command also works on 7. The system CTL
Okay.
command doesn't work on 6, I think. Alright, let's move forward here. So, okay, so we all know that root user is a super admin user, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, right here. So root has the highest level access. Don't misuse it. You'll have access to company data. Never share password. So this is all this good stuff here. Okay, so you know everything about this root. And let's see. Okay, so let me clear. So now what we're gonna do is we'll start adding a new user. So usually when you say user, that means he's not an admin. And what will happen is he won't have some admin privileges. Right now we are using root user, and then we are going into anywhere and everywhere, and we are easily copying, deleting, viewing, accessing. Everything is easy. You don't have to worry about the access control. Now once you are logged in as a regular user, then all those problems will start to happen. Okay, so let's see here. Let's add a user here. Okay, so the command to do add a user is user add, and then you give the name Zafar. Okay, so you added the user. Okay, so how do you know if the what users are on the system? There is a file name called password file. It holds the user's name. Okay, so where is the password file listed? It's sitting in the etc folder. You go vi/etc/easswd. Okay, so these are all some of the system generated. These are system generated users. Okay, so right now I've created a username Zafar. Okay, and it has some attributes and values here. So it says //home/Zafar. Can somebody tell me what is this? This is the home directory. Root user home directory is /root, right? So, but the name regular user home directory is going to be home/ then the username. Okay? And then
I think we can also, I don't know whether I'm just asking, it's not that I'm challenging, I'm just asking. So at the time of creation, you can find the different locations for the user also, am I right?
yeah, you could actually come here and change it.
You come here and change it, you cannot do it while you're creating in the beginning?
I have not seen it. I mean, I'm sure you
Okay,
but normally if you want to change it, you come here and change it.
got it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, before that. Okay, so to add new user, so you type user add Zafar. Okay, that's the command we do it. And then the user is added to the file /etc/easswd. Okay, it sounds ridiculous here that the file name password is actually holding the username. Okay, and then what it does is it will do this here. So let's break this down here. Okay, so in here, let's see here. Okay, the very first in this display here, the very first thing is ID. User ID is Zafar here. Okay. Okay, uh, and then also there is a user ID. User ID, which is an numerical number. Okay. UID. Okay, so UID is okay. So the one you have is password. Yeah. So right now there is no password set. So the password is set to X here. Okay. And then the next item here, this one here, it says 1000 here. This is a default ID which is being created by the user. So it's called user ID. Okay, it's 1000. And then group ID, GID stands for group ID. Okay, and this is also 1000. This is a system generated. There is a file somewhere that is telling the system to use this number here. Okay, we'll go over that a little later. User ID. Okay, and GID stands for group ID. Okay, and then this part here is a home directory. So in this case, it's slash user home slash Zafar. Okay. So let's see if the system has created that directory. CD slash home. Then if you do ls, the system has also created the in here and here. So if I add user add obeyed, so what will happen is it's going to go in the system and create the obeyed ID with folder also. Okay. Okay. And then this part here is the bash. What the prompt you're using is bash. Okay. It's called what kind of shell you're using. You're using a bash shell. You're using a /bash. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, but there is no question.
Okay.
So if somehow if somebody goes to a password file or from on this home directory delete some user, it will be totally deleted or it will be lingering somewhere.
It will be deleted.
Okay. Jazakallah.
So Zafar bhai, this is like once we add the user at run this command and whatever the user name, so it generates the name and the user ID at the same time.
Yeah, it generates the name, the user ID, and then you mean the name? This is also the name is also ID itself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Just in case if you wanted to see the user ID, or
what you could do is you do ID and then you type Zafar, and then you see all this good information.
oh, so it's GID and the group that tells everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so let me put this there again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new session, and then I'm going to go in here and log in as Zafar. Okay, now the password is not set. Okay, to create a password for the user, you have to type password Zafar, and you're doing it as a root, and you hit enter, and then you could assign the new password here. So here's the thing: if the root user, whenever the root is creating the password restrictions doesn't apply. A root user could create just a single single digit password, and then it won't stop it from doing it. Okay. It is saying here that the password is shorter than 8 characters retype. But since we are a root user, all those things doesn't apply. But if you're like a user, if you try to type a short password, it won't work for you. Okay, so now you see I'm logged in as Zafar here. How do you see? You see it here as Zafar. And if you type PWD, this is your home directory. Okay? Alright, good.
so I mean, if we get the request that we have a new member, we're going to create the ID and the password and we're going to send it to them.
Yep, that's it.
And then, well, we know the password. Then, oh, he's going to change the password.
Yeah, you could tell them to change it. But yeah, that's one of those perks that come with being an admin is you could break into anybody's computer or whatever because you have a root access.
Because if we want to be like super administrator at work, right? So we have the root access and my manager comes on, he is a new mate. So we're going to have to give him an access. We're not going to give him a root access right away, I guess, because we don't know him. So, I mean, we're going to create him like any regular ID, whatever his name is. And then still, he's going to need maybe a couple months, he's going to need like the root privileges.
Yeah. So down the road, I'll show you how to create a partial root access. Okay. There are some things. For example, if you want to read the logs here, error logs. If you want to read error logs here, right? So I'm going to do cat var logs messages here, and this, as a user, you should be able to read the system messages, but you're getting a permission denied. So there are some default permissions that are easily accessed to the non-root user, but at the same time it will stop it from doing like creating a user. They won't be able to create user, or there would be some system folders that little bit higher, little bit of a user with a little bit higher privileges may not have it until he becomes a root user. Matter of fact, when you go into your workplace, you will actually get a regular ID, and that ID will be part of a group that will give you access to the root user privileges. So you come here, you log in with your regular ID, then you do SU, sudo SU, and then hyphen. This tells you that you are switching to root. And then at this moment you provide your own password. So even if you provide your own password, it's not a sudo or file. I'll explain that a little later. But even after that, if you try to become a root, it will not give you access to the root unless you be a part of that group. Okay.
Oh, okay, I got it now when you say like the part of the group. So there's probably a group. So there's like maybe one higher, like the root group, and then one is the one grade lower than the root group.
Yeah, I'll show you here in here you go in manage here on the Windows.
Because I have worked in this like the PC side, like the Windows side, and then they give you, there's a lot of groups like over here, like the administrator. Sometimes the people say, so I need access on this file only. So you just go and add him. And it probably stays for 24 hours and automatically goes away.
Yeah. Because there is something called Active Directory, which is doing all that thing.
Right, Active Directory, yes. That's right.
Okay, so here we have a regular user here. We have this user here, administrator, which is built in here. And then there is another user here, so which is I'm logged into. So now if I go in here, this is a group here. So I have two users here which are part of administrator. They both have same access level. So if I'm logged in as a regular user and if I'm trying to install something and if I get a pop-up message that says enter the administrator password, and if you don't know the password, then it will deny you access to installing something, as an example.
Right, for the security purposes.
Yeah. Then again, as a regular user, you are able to do so much, not everything.
So that means you're not working on a lot of stuff if you don't have access.
Yeah. So sudo user is like a little bit elevated access you have. Let's take a break here. Let's take like, we'll come back at 11, okay?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Your question is okay. Clear PWD. See, I don't have it either.
Where's the lock for the wheels? You don't know where the lock is?
Okay, I don't have another file here either in my root.
Is it here 7?
7. I just get it. You want me to look on the 6?
6 there. I have it at 7, but I don't have it in 6.
Okay, let me open the 6. Okay. Run it. Okay, I'm bringing the 6, okay?
Okay, sure.
I might not have to create the, what you call the, okay, I'll show right from here.
Yeah, no problem.
No, but before some of the questions, just give me 1 quick second.
One more thing I want to ask you. Whenever clone, it asks me, should I check or uncheck this one is reinitialize the MAC address for all network cards.
I have not seen that one.
Where it is? I mean, when you clone it, right? And then you
clone it. You got the message and you type the name of the
okay, here's the file. It is part of this fix. Okay, I'm going to open it.
Just can it, yes, please.
Okay, so this line is all these lines are uncommented.
Okay, I'm back.
There's a lot of things you can.
Is Zafar back, I think?
Yep, Zafar is back.
Sorry about it. Zafar, just one quick second. Okay, but this is, I think, if you want me to, I can put on the.
Just send it to me on Notepad or something. So I will just copy paste.
I'll send it to you on the what you call the WhatsApp also.
Oh, okay. I thought it was anything. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll do it after the class. Right, but Zafar, you can take it, control that, please.
Okay.
No, what I'll do is I'll use the WinSCP to move from the Unix to my Windows machine and then put on the WhatsApp. Just like we do the copy from the Windows.
And then I put it in a notepad.
Yeah, just copy paste, highlight it, and then just paste it.
Okay, I'll do that.
So you do VI, and then you just copy it like this here, and then put it in notepad, and all these things are not going to change.
No, I'll do it.
Like
I'll do it right now.
document or something, it will change.
I'll take it.
Try to autocorrect or whatever. Okay, so let me start recording. Okay. Okay, so there is a file. What you can do is, if you want to have some login definitions, it's called login definitions. You could go to that file as a user and then change your preferences, okay? So, let's see here. Password then. Okay, yeah. This is the file that will, okay, see the UID. UID is starting from 1000 here, right? If you want to customize it, you could do that. Okay, so it's going up to, so if I create a next user, the UID will be 1001 here. So let's see here. ID update. Okay. So what it did here is the next ID which is up is 101 and then group ID is 101. So by default it's creating a group ID is 101. Okay, and then the group is putting into is 101. Okay. So I think this ID is used only, I mean this file is used not much, but I think at my work here, they just set this group IDs, custom ID, whatever they want to set it to. And then this is also where you define the password restrictions and all that, okay? So the password, the maximum number of days the password may be used, and all these things. So most of the time this is default. But if you want to go in there and then play around, you could definitely do that.
What is this file, brother Zafar? I just somehow blinked and I missed it.
Yeah. So it's called the user definitions. And user definitions and attributes are defined in this file here. /etc/login.dev. Okay. I think you guys, did you get it? What I'm trying to say here, if you want to change any definitions here, default definitions here, you could come here and change it, okay? For example,
That definition, you mean like the group ID number, group,
yeah.
stuff like that?
So if I change like here, the group ID, if I change it here as
Oh, it's
5, so the next time I create the user ID, it will start from 5,000. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then the system account is 2002. I don't even know what that is. And then let's see here if we change this here to 5,000. Okay. And then create home. Okay, you could also set this here. It says create home means it's creating a home directory. If you change it to no, then it won't create a home directory.
No.
Okay, let's save and exit.
Encrypted.
Okay,
you
I can't do it because I'm a regular user here.
Yeah, you're logging in as Zafar.
So if I do VIETC logins, and let me go down here. UID, I'm going to make it start from 5,000. And group ID, I'm going to start from 6,000. Okay, so let's take a look here. And then I'm going to add user, Saeed. And if I do ID, Saeed, and you see that the UID starts from 5,000 and group ID is from 6,000. And then the group is 6,000. Okay?
And the Obed was like 100. So instead of 100.
Default, that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
So it could be changed by any user
No, only root could change this.
or root.
And now the thing is, let me just like, I just wanted to be clear about it. So now he just changes the default. So before the byte system, default is start from 100.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
1,000, sorry. 1,001.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah, and now you change it default to 5,000 it starts.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the group ID starts from 6,000 instead of 1,000.
What is the number? Is 1,000 and 6,000? Is I'm the corrector or anything?
No, I think all these numbers is taken by user or by the system, I guess. And then it starts, or maybe it's just a default thing.
So see, the name is also associated with the number here. Okay, let's do ID 5,000. So it will recognize, it will bring that back to you here. Your name is associated with the ID.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
And it's giving you the information about the user name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Either you could put the ID in there or you could put the name in there to give that information. See,
Right,
ID 5,000 is giving the information about Saeed.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that number, right? 1,000 or 5,000, whatever.
Yeah, so if I give Saeed, I'll get the same output.
Right, like Abdul is a very common name, and it could be possible like there's going to be 2 mics for Abdul at work, right?
Yeah.
So you go by, maybe if you change the name or if you change the user ID, you go by.
Yeah, let's see if we could create another Saeed here. Okay, no, it won't allow that.
Oh, it already exists.
Yeah.
We have to use it last time, I guess.
Yeah. So one thing you got to remember is you're not creating as many users here. Usually you are creating the users for the application, like a user name Oracle and Hadoop or whatever that application is running. You will get a request to add a new user with the following permissions. Okay, so you do that for them. But if you have like a thousand, if you have like 40 employees, 40 system administrators, they're not using this process. The process which is being used is, in majority places, the Active Directory is used, or there is something called LDAP. Okay, so we're not going to go over this for this course here, but you got to just remember there is a third-party stuff that could be used to manage the IDs.
Active Directory is a part of Windows or Linux also?
The Active Directory is a crown jewel for Microsoft. Microsoft is probably surviving. You know, Microsoft had like very bad days 10 years ago, I think, before Windows 10. Very bad days. The only way they will survive is because of the Active Directory. There are so many big corporations that try to get rid of Active Directory because of the licensing and because it's expensive. They just couldn't. Because Active Directory, they made it a very robust product. So, because of Active Directory, a lot of big corporations, they stayed on with Windows and then they stayed on with Windows operating system. But on the server side, since they have Active Directory implemented on thousands of computers, then they might as well, use it as for managing Linux also. Yeah. That is a big credit for Windows, Microsoft, that they have the Active Directory as a crown jewel. Yeah, Active Directory is very, very powerful. Everybody understands what Active Directory is, right? I really don't want to go in there.
I just heard this terminology. How do you just
Understanding that it's also like a group, big group, and there's like a Active Directory has a lot of users inside, and they have certain permissions on a certain group.
Yeah, the Active Directory is the management that manages the users, the groups, and the computers. Endpoints, it's called endpoints, mostly on the Windows side. But when it comes to Linux, they are managing the users and usernames.
Okay.
But as a Linux admin, you don't have to worry about that. That's a different function.
So in Linux, you said like if there is a DBA team or Oracle team, right? So they're gonna have, I believe like everyone's not gonna have root access. Maybe some of them, or they just have to have like whatever the mark is working in Oracle. So we just create a mark, user add mark, and then we're gonna add them to maybe a specific group like Oracle group.
Yeah. Usually how it works at most places I work as, I'm pretty sure this is almost at big corporation, that all these things, all these functions are broken up. So not one group is doing it. The user administration, these days is called IAM, Identity and Access Management, is what is being called these days. And it's a separate team that deals with the access management and all this here. It goes under the umbrella of a security team. Because the moment your ID is disabled, you're dead in water, right? I mean, you just cannot access any system. And that will reflect on all the other systems you may have. You may have like one ID, and that ID is being used into 10, 15, 20 different systems that you would have access to. But you know, the IT, if somebody says you're in IT, that doesn't mean you're IT. IT is as vast as the medical field. You know, I mean, if you're a doctor, then you are a heart surgeon and you're a brain surgeon and all those.
Okay.
So those are all, I mean, if you have a heart problem, a brain surgeon is not going to do anything about it. Go there. Go to the other place. Yeah. I had a problem with my eye, and I found out like there are eight different specialties in eye doctor. There is a doctor for cornea, and there is a different doctor for your retina, for your lens, the natural lens cataract. There is a different doctor for that. For optic nerve, there is a different doctor.
Different countries?
These are all different specialties. You know, if you are having problem with your optic nerve, our ophthalmologist is not going to touch that.
In Pakistan, one doctor does everything.
They don't do anything, man. No.
Yeah. In America, yeah, they do the different, yeah.
What do you mean? In Pakistan, a brain surgeon could do the heart surgery? No, man.
I mean, I'm just joking. I mean, normally a doctor says I can do everything. Like,
you know, if you go to an eye doctor, even though, like, I never heard that, like, it could be 8 different surgeons for an eye, doctor's eye.
It is.
For eye, right?
I learned it hard way because I have all those problems. And if you are having a retina problem, like if you're going blind in your eye, you know, so the regular doctor, the ophthalmologist, is the lowest level doctor. Okay, he's like, oh, you got this problem here. You got to go to a retina doctor. Okay. And if the retina doctor sees there is a problem with your cataract, and he will say, go to a cataract doctor.
oh yeah.
And if he says there is a problem with your cornea, he will send you away to a cornea doctor. Any problem with your tear ducts or whatever, it's a different doctor. An optic nerve is a different doctor. And all those are different problems here. Put this here, eye.
I mean, yeah, that is, like, when my dad was in the hospital, we had to see, like, so many kinds of a doctor, like, for little things. You don't even know, like, this thing is existing in your body.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the functionality? What is the muscles breakdown? What is the neurologist does with that? And all those, like, the connectivity of, like, one thing to the other. And it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah, so same thing applies in the IT.
Idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's say if you are able to do all this here, you could do it on like 10, 15 computers, right? You're not going to do it on 10,000 computers, 15,000 computers. There are little things is going to, all those work is going to explosive and then you won't have too much time for doing all those things. So there are different teams set up to do it.
Yep.
So yeah, let's just focus here. So now what's going to happen here is to set the password, you use password command. Okay, and this will set the password. And the password is stored in the file name shadow. So as a root user, you will have access to the password here. Cat etc shadow, and these are all the passwords here. So this is the password here. So what I could do is I could copy this password and I could give the same password to Ubaid and Saeed, okay, from here. Okay, so right now you see this Ubaid is so short here, right? Because the password is not set. So I'm going to exit here. I'm going to type here SSWT Ubaid, and then I'm going to hit enter. It's asking me to set the password. Okay, let's go back in that file here, and you see now the password is set here. You see all these alphanumeric numbers here.
And it's going to be the same password?
Yeah, this is, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, copy the same password here, and then put it in between here, okay? Okay.
Oh, you put it in between.
Yeah. Add over. Okay, I'm going to quit now. Okay, so it's working here. Okay, so here's the reason why you want to do this, copy the password and paste it in there, okay? What happens is sometimes the application team, they are using the same exact password, and that alphanumeric password is embedded into some other application somewhere here. If you remember here, we tried to put in the password here, right? In here. Here is the encrypted password here. It's automatically taking that password here. We're not typing that password here, but this is a password encryption here. So what will happen is sometimes the ID loses that password here. So what will happen is the application team will send this to you, and then you put it in here, or you check it in here and make sure they are correct, and then the application will start working somewhere else. Okay, so what else you could do is, instead of typing the username here, you could just go into the password file and then create a username without going in there. Okay, so let's see here.
One question, Zafar.
Yeah.
As a super user or the root user, can you decrypt the password which is set by any user?
No.
No.
You wouldn't know.
Can
You wouldn't know what is their password exactly. But
you can change their password to anything else. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I need to, for example, check somebody's profile, I can copy this password, put on the site, reset the password, look whatever I need to look, come back and put the password back there.
Yeah. You beat you beat me. You're already thinking how to circumvent things around at your work. So very good thinking. But then again, if you type history here, it will show you what you've been doing and all that.
Okay, so there's already some way to clean the history also, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We learned that too.
Yeah, there's a way to clean the history. Well, anyway, here, so what you do is you go into VI etc shadow or password. Yeah, the password is and then what you could do is you could do YYP, and then here you could do Shakil, and then you do 1001, and you do 6001, and you do Shakil, and it's going to use bin and bash. Okay, and then you do VI etc shadow, and what you could do is and then what you do is okay, that would be his password here. So
All right.
yeah.
And why is this message coming, brother? Just curious.
Yeah, it's just a safety feature. There are few files, even the root user, it's because you're messing around with the shadow and password file, it's very important file. Yeah, usually if something happens in the application area or whatever, and it's just a cautious warning that is telling you, are you sure about that? So if you do ID,
Exactly.
so he's in there, okay? So what I could do is, okay? And if you type a command, who am I, it will tell you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's move forward here. So you create, and then you script. Okay? Okay. So now what you see here is when you switch to Shakir, do you see the difference here is just giving you the blank, not telling you where you are here, okay? So for that, what you have to do is, you have to change the ownership, okay?
Yep.
So you do cd/home and you do ls here. So the file is not there. The tree is not there. Okay, so if you're doing it manually, you have to do this manually too. mkdir secure. And then if you do ls-l, you have to change the ownership also. See here, ownership is obey. So what you have to do is, you have to do, don't worry about this command, we'll go in the next phase. You give the ownership and then the group as secure. And then the folder name. This is a group name, owner name and group name, and then the folder name. What is this?
Colon? Again colon?
Huh?
You should change ownership to colon, security colon. The last one should be a colon as well.
No, that is a folder name. Okay, now I know. Because the group is not there. So what you have to do is...
You have to create group as well?
No, I think you have to create the folder. Here, Shakil. Home slash Shakil. Okay, this looks good. Set the ownership. Okay, here, let me exit here. And let's do chown invalid group Shakil.
Can you check from your bed or somebody else which was created by the system? How does that look like?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying somebody which is already created by the system, like Obey or somebody.
Yeah, well, 5,000.
Not same. The same, everything is same. Even Shakil is also same.
SHAKIO, right?
SHAKIO. Yeah.
Then just check the group if it's exit or maybe some typo mistake on there.
There's no group file where they can go in a group and change over there instead of changing from this change ownership.
Yeah, group ID is here. It's missing here. Right? Group IDs are missing here. So what you do is et password.
We don't see anything.
Shakil. Yeah, all looks good to me.
So what is the issue that's happening? But then this one might have lost again.
I've tried to assign the group and ownership of this folder to Shakil here. So let me remove that here. So what I'm going to do is ls-l. So what I'm going to do is mkdir. Okay, and then I'm going to make Shakil. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the permission here, okay? Chmod.
777?
Yeah. No. 7 0. Okay, you see the permissions, they are all the same.
Okay. Yep.
So, Shakil. Invalid group. Okay, Okay, so there is another file name called groups. Because system, so what you have to do is etc group. Okay, in here, you have to give the group name.
Oh, okay. So here, no check.
This was 6001, right?
Yep.
Alright. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But if you would run like user add Shakil, so it will create the ownership of the group ID.
Yeah, it creates all those things for you.
So you did it manually without running this command.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now let's do su Shakil here. Okay, so it's still not there yet. So now what you have to do is you have to copy some essential files here. So if you do ls here and you go to Zafar, so you do ls hyphen, I want to see hidden files. What do I do? A. Okay, so these are all the hidden files in here. So I'm pretty sure the Shakil folder Shakil doesn't have these files yet. So these files are missing here. Bash and all these files are missing here. How do you bring those files in here? So what you have to do is, there is a directory called shell. It's confusing here. So let's go into the directory called cd/etc/skel. Okay, so these are the default files that you need to copy to the home directory here, okay? So let's copy cp/etc/skel, and then these are hidden. So how are you going to do it? Asterisk D and asterisk, okay? And then where are you going to copy to? Home secure. So you have this hidden files here, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to exit, and then you're going to come back here. Now you have the grid prompt here, okay? So it will bring you back in here. So let's try logging in directly.
And how often do you need to create these users manually? So it looks like a lot of hassle to take care of a lot of things instead of just creating a user from the prompt as a user or root user.
Yeah. Maybe you have to do it like 4 or 5 times a year.
Oh, very rare.
Yeah, because what is happening is there are some applications that need a manual setup. Okay, and then you do pwd ls helper ls. So what you could do is you could should I show this here? Bash profile. Okay, in here, what you could do is you could just play around with this here and see if you could change it here. So you could do the path and change the path around here. It's a script in here that will tell you how you want to change things around here.
It's already saved the read only in the bottom.
Yeah.
We cannot change it.
As a user, you should be, if it's your own file, you should be able to do it here. But you may not be able to do it here. So let's see, let's mention it. Yeah, all these are read-only files here. I thought you should be able to write it. So here you could go in here and you could check what the users are. What if you are admin and you want to see what this particular user is running the command here, you could go in here. You could go into his bash RC, or you could use cat home Shakil, and then go into bash, then underscore history. Okay, and you see last one is PWD, and I type clear here, so it's hostname. It's not registered. Okay. Can somebody tell me why it's not registering those files here? Because the ownership. So see all the ownership is root here. So let's go ahead and change that. So okay, so let's see here. I messed up. Okay, now it looks good. I'm not sure. Usually what happens is, whatever the command is typing here, you could keep typing this file here and you should be able to see these files here. Dash RC. Okay. It may start writing this after a little while. I'm not sure. But here's this. If you want to see if somebody is writing or what is their activity bin, you just go in here and then you do cat and read the bash history. And by the way, as a root user, you could just simply go into any local user, and then you type enter here, you will become that user, and if no password is asked. Okay? And then you do ls here, and you type history, and you see all the history here. So, do you guys see why the root user access is so important, and then why you shouldn't be misusing and all that? Because you literally have full access to everything and anything in the system. And most of the time, Linux servers are running some serious applications. You know, I'm not sure about Windows here, but I could tell you for a fact that Linux servers are running and keeping a lot of very, very important data. Because the crash rate for Linux servers is very, very low. Very, very low. Have you ever heard about Linux servers getting hacked? Rarely. Because of the internal security breach, it may happen. From outside, the Linux servers don't really get hacked. You don't hear Mac getting hacked, right? Because Mac is running nothing but Linux. All right, I'm going to stop here, and tomorrow we'll start at 9. Everybody's good with that, right?
9 at Central, right?
9 Central, yeah.
Yes, Central. That's good.
Yeah. So everybody agrees, I think. So,
Zafar, can you give me 5 minutes? I met everything, but still SAM address, IP address.
for?
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
How do you get see? I'm gonna show you my original machine now. Should I check on this if I mean run the machine?
Yeah, cancel it here first for a moment.
It's already cancelled. I just checked it.
No, no.
I'm gonna show you a setting first.
Yeah.
It's
Then go for network here.
nothing on it, and adapter 2, adapter 3. So all looks good, right?
Yeah.
Here, anything on this? No.
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. So no.
No, you don't need to do that then. Reinitialize MAC address, you don't need to check that.
Okay. All right. I already cloned this one. I'm gonna show you right here. This IP is right here. It is 168.20.
Yeah.
168.20 all machine. I'm gonna clone the new one.
And then look at the hardware address. 24FF. Yeah, we just remember that. So let's go back to the new machine.
Zafar, if you want, you can close the recording.
Yeah.